What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show.
Why does your internet hate me?
I don't know.
Mine is also not working.
Yeah, your internet's not working. So
We may not even be streaming.
We may not be
not be
live.
broadcasting right now.
we're just winging it.
It'll be fine.
At least we'll have recording.
Is there a little indicator over there on the?
I don't know where that would be.
My chair is just blocking it. Anyways, it's fine. No one watches the show anyways.
Light. I see
Is
the
there a little
record-
blue
Yeah, there is.
blue thing? I think the blue
Yep.
thing means.
Next to the green thing.
I don't know what the quality is, but we're
Dropped frames.
We're sending things out.
That's great.
We're sending the video out. The feed is there. I don't know if it's being picked up by Twitch. In any case, yeah, we're glad Tyler's here. He'll probably share a little bit about his why we thought maybe he wouldn't be here in a little bit. But Tyler, you're repping some O's gear tonight.
Yeah, man. Home Run Derby's on, but I can't watch it because your internet doesn't work. But I'm watching it on my phone now, for redundancy.
Okay, good.
For whenever it does work. Yeah, Gunnar Henderson's in the Home Run Derby tonight. He leads the American League in home run, second in the American League in home runs right now behind Aaron Judge. And I'm hoping he can win it tonight. I think it'd be really cool.
Nice.
His first All-Star appearance, first All-Star game. It's pretty exciting.
Very cool. Love it.
He's
Sweet.
a child he's using a Scooby-Doo bat, which is really cool. And he has a really good Scooby-Doo impression.
So when did they start letting children into the home run derby?
Well, when they're 6'4", 230 pounds and hit the ball almost 500 feet, I think they get to go.
Don't they have kids in the outfield?
They do. One year, one kid got smoked. It was hilarious.
Good. Gotta
You go out there with a glove, you better be able to catch.
keep that head on a swivel.
I pay to see that. No,
But yeah,
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'll talk a little bit later about the very brief experience I've had with EA Sports College Football 25 today.
Okay.
25. I can never remember what number it is.
Yeah. I'll talk about that a little later. So if you're listening for that or you're here for that, that'll be later on.
Sweet. Cool. All right. Well then, let's get started where we always do, these days at least. The new trailers that came out this week.
Should we start with the big one or the other big one?
Surprise me.
We got our first trailer for Captain America 4? Captain America Brave New World.
Yeah.
We did.
Anthony Mackie is Captain America now. Spoilers for Falcon and Winter Soldier if you didn't watch that.
Or even not. Like, he was still given the shield at the end of Endgame. So.
Yeah. Spoilers are in game. Movie's 5 years old now. But yeah. I think there's a lot going on in it.
There does seem to be a lot going on, which is pretty typical of most Marvel things these days.
Yeah, but I still liked what I saw. I like the tone. I like that we're gonna get Red Hulk. I think that's cool, and I like how they didn't just throw him out there immediately yet. We just get the quick little
tease
thing, and it's done, and we don't need to just ruin that immediately.
Right.
But I like what I'm seeing. Now, that being said, I feel like I've said similar things about things in the past, but I'm going to be optimistic. So.
I like that. Optimistic Luke.
That's good.
That is good.
I'm going to be optimistic about something this week,
I
right?
like this trailer. I think it's a well done trailer. I love the little cuts with the words and all that. So I think it just works for me. I don't know. It's good marketing. Yeah, I'm excited for it, I guess. Anymore, it's kind of hard to know with Marvel what you're going to get. But I think visually it looks good. I'm with you. I think the tone is good.
Who's directing it?
And Anthony Mackie has really grown on me with Twisted Metal. So,
dude, he was so good in it.
He's so good. He's so good.
I forgot you don't have internet. What is this?
Yeah, and your thing says it's connecting to chat. So
cool. So
your internet's down, brother.
Probably too many people trying to come in here and stream the
Yeah, it's saying disconnected and stuff at the bottom now.
All right. Well, hey, that's what we get.
It'll be
with
recorded.
the live show.
It'll
It's
be
fine.
recording though, right?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay, cool.
I turned my Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, I think it's a good trailer. I'm looking forward to it. I'll thumbs up this. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's a good trailer as well. I think that I was curious, replacing Hurt with Harrison Ford, William Hurt with Harrison Ford to be our president, I guess, in this one.
Yeah, president now.
President. But from what I've seen, it doesn't feel like
They address it right away in the trailer too.
Oh yeah.
Which I think was
a little
funny.
meta thing. But like my fear with Harrison is that I feel like they'll more often than not he tends to phone things in these days.
That and the press tour is gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be great for us.
Somebody's gonna be like, "What's your favorite Red Hulk story?" He's gonna be like, "What's a Red Hulk?"
Yeah. What's your favorite MCU movie? What's an MCU?
I don't know what that means.
What is that?
Just let me fly away in my plane.
I do also think that this is,
I was Indiana Jones.
much like the Captain America, maybe other than Civil War, at least the first two Captain America movies, but Civil War to a certain degree too. Like it looks like it's trying to tell an interesting story about superheroes and superheroes in the fold of the military and who do superheroes report to, and we got a little bit of that with Civil War on a bigger scale, right? Like the Avengers, but this feels like it's kind of coming back down to the whether it's Iron Patriot or Captain America, like what is their role in a society or a government, and I always find those kinds of, especially when they can be a little more intimate and you can kind of hash out those things.
I thought that was one of the more interesting parts about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier does it too. So they're kind of continuing that. I mean,
like what does
really,
it look like when we actually have a government issued Captain America?
Yeah,
and it's not good.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's very on brand for Captain America, right? Mm-hmm. Like those themes, and so I'm glad we're not running away into, I don't know, something completely different. But yeah, no, I thumbs up this trailer.
Sweet.
The other big one was Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Long anticipated.
Gladiators, some might say. Except it wasn't directed by James Cameron, so.
Yeah. Gladiator Judgment Day.
Could work.
Actually, I feel like that one kind of could.
It could. Like, it's not...
It'd be like, what is the story of this one? Like, it could be the end of Rome. That's the Judgment
Day. Yeah, this is quite the star-studded cast.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Luke has...
I'll go first, because
okay.
I think I'll be more pessimistic on this one than most people.
Sure.
Because I know a lot of people really liked this trailer. I'm kind of down on it. First of all, the music. For some reason, this is Ridley Scott's thing now. Is to have, I don't know if it's his thing, but for his movies, they're always putting these weird song choices in the trailers, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like I remember one of the Napoleon trailers worked, and one of the other ones was okay.
Mm-hmm.
This one did not work for me. We're just repeating the Coliseum floor line over and over and over and over again through the trailer. It's like, I get it. It's a gladiator movie. I can see that.
Did you know there was a Coliseum in it?
I think I've been there.
Yeah.
Is it the same Coliseum?
I think so.
Okay. The big rocks?
Yeah.
Big rock circle?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think, the one I went to.
That makes sense.
I also, I'm, the other thing that people are really positive on, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm worried about the Denzel Washington casting.
No.
I felt like he was just playing himself. And you know what? Denzel's a great actor, and he's great at just playing himself, and he's always entertaining. But then, like, I'm watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was Training Day.
Yep.
And this is also another thing in Ridley Scott movies. It's just like, use whatever accent you want.
Yeah, that's true. He does not care about
Like,
accents.
that was one of the worst parts about Napoleon, probably, was Joaquin Phoenix just being like, I'm Napoleon. And then his wife in proper British. But I think the battle sequences look great. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we're getting the water in the arena.
Yeah.
Like,
That's super cool.
obviously you couldn't do everything in the first one, and that probably wasn't possible back then, and now it is. So, like, I'm still excited, but the trailer was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm also worried about the story. The main character is the kid from the first one, right? Or am I
That's
crazy?
what's implied.
That's what's implied, at least, yeah.
I'm worried the story is going to be the exact same as the first one.
Probably.
Fair.
High-ranking person. Betrayed. Forced into gladiator. Causes an uprising with his master.
Yeah.
Oh, something bad happens. I have to fight the king. Or I guess Joseph Quinn or whatever. And, like, Connie Nielsen's just, like, up there. It's like... It's like, what's your role in this? So I'm worried if it's just going to be the same thing. But... Anyway, you guys can go now.
So I'm excited for this movie. I expressed via our group chat how much the music drove me crazy. So I'm with Luke on that. And I'm also on the same side of the fence as Luke with Denzel. He's just doing a New York accent. He's just doing where he normally does. And I think, it honestly, I don't know.
It feels like vomit saying that. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't like what Denzel's...
It feels like heresy, right? Like, it's weird.
What am I saying?
But the other thing too, to me, and please, guys, remind me, was Ridley always this lax with accents, or is this just like a recent-ish thing?
No, he's never been super...
Because I mean, if you want to make, a period piece
Joaquin,
set in a country,
in Gladiator speaks in his normal accent, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
No, Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Well, Russell Crowe too, but
it kind of works in that
Yeah.
his sense. But yeah,
he's a Spaniard.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it would feel much more immersive and much more like real.
It's one of those little things where it's like...
It can take you out of a movie.
I think you're right. But, yeah.
But all that to say, I'm super pumped for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
very
like,
excited.
oh, I'm not gonna see it
Yeah.
now. Ooh. It's like, no. I'm
And-
still really looking forward
Yeah.
to experiencing.
And I think all the Paul Mescal stuff looks great. I'm
Yeah.
very excited for
Yeah.
his performance. I think he's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I think the trailer music is... It's trailer music.
At this point, it's been talked
It's
to death.
just it's
Yeah.
just meant to get your blood flowing a little bit, and I don't know, like it's
Blood
not
on the
it's
colours
maybe
of
not
the
my wouldn't be my first choice, but at the same time I don't mind it. I don't care about the accents.
Man to a god, god to a king.
So yeah, no, I'm on board with everything. I think the thing that I worry most about is kind of what Luke talked about with the storyline. Like, I just hope that they don't completely recycle that. I think the existence of Denzel's character and prominence might make that a little more interesting than what we had in the first one, but who knows?
If it is just the same recycled story, they should have went with his original pitch.
Going through time.
Yes. Yes.
The wild card
Hey.
to me is Pedro Pascal. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know why I always assumed he was going to be, like, the bad guy. And he just seems like another gladiator.
Right.
So I'm curious to see what his role is.
And he'll perform it well too.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah. I'm just glad he's not the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably for him, he feels the same way. I feel like he's led like everything lately.
Yeah.
So he's probably like, this is nice.
It's like some weight off my
This is
shoulders.
nice.
Good luck,
I don't
Paul.
have like a
Do a couple supporting roles.
72-day shoot. I get to show up for 40 and
Yeah.
call it good.
And then probably 2 days on Last of Us 2.
Spoilers.
And then he can get geared up for
Fantastic Four,
Fantastic
baby.
Four. Better not
right.
blow it, buddy.
Good luck.
So, Luke, you talked about Ridley's original vision for this, which was jumping through time. We actually have a trailer this week about jumping through time.
We did. And we just watched it. Have you seen this? Time Bandits?
No, I have not.
It's Taika's Apple TV Plus
Oh boy.
This looks really fun.
movie. I don't think
It's a movie?
I'm pretty sure it's, or is it a show?
I think it was a show.
Oh gosh, see, I can't tell anymore. They advertise them. They never specify at the end.
And you know what? I was going to look it up, but your Wi-Fi
Yeah.
sucks. Or is it
Classic.
back? Are we back?
It just told me slow connect. Oh,
Are we back, baby?
Might be
Oh.
back.
You know
No
what?
internet.
I bet it is a show.
It's back. We're good. Home Run Derby's on my iPad.
Otherwise, we would have seen like an only in theaters, right? Like, or not only in theaters, but like in theaters. Surely that a Taika movie. I mean, I guess his soccer film didn't do
TV
great.
series.
Okay, so it is a series. I think this looks pretty funny.
Know what instantly kind of sold me on it? The scrawny little kid with the big glasses. Just that design of character is like timeless.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like Squints from
Yep.
Sandlot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yes, we got a dorky little nerd as our lead, and he's gonna be hilarious. And there's that little bit where he's running from the night or whatever. He's
Yeah.
just like, it's just like, yeah, okay, I'm in.
It's child Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
No, it really is.
Yep.
Um,
And Lisa Kudrow
when does it release?
is also in it.
First episode comes out July 24, is what we said?
It was
sweet.
like in the next 2 weeks or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
really soon.
Sweet.
Yeah, watch this little kid scream. Oh, it's...
It seems
I
like
don't
they
even
have
sound. It's still
the
funny.
kind of the entourage has good chemistry.
Yeah,
It's a good ensemble.
and
think.
I mean that's one of Taika's strengths
Absolutely.
is an ensemble, a goofy ensemble.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
I'm excited.
Looks fun.
Oh, this is a great
Thumbs up.
scene too. Great. You should watch it after.
I will.
It looks really fun.
I'll quickly watch it and then run home. I'm
What
just
if
gonna
we-
run past my car and just keep running.
Hell yeah.
if we tie him up here?
Please don't.
Just break his heart.
I've waited 11 years for today.
You
Please-
can wait one more day.
Please don't do this.
What's one more day for 11 years?
Hey,
Um,
we've actually got some movie business stuff to discuss after this, Tyler.
Can you help me do my taxes?
I didn't file an extension. Is that a problem?
No, I'm talking about next year.
Oh.
I'm getting way ahead of the game. I don't got my W-2 or nothing. I'm just going for it.
Just copying it over from last year. Nothing's changed.
Well, I probably could. But this isn't a trailer, but we did get a behind-the-scenes look at Stranger Things season 5.
Yeah.
I didn't watch this, but I saw that it came out.
Everyone looks old.
Well, I mean,
And not in a
Millie
bad-
Bobby
not in a
Brown
bad
talks
way.
about it. She says, "I was 10 when I was cast, and now I'm 20." And it's just like we're sitting here, we're like, "Oh yeah, that's crazy."
Yeah.
I can't wait for season 5 though. And when I watched this earlier today, I was like, man, I think I'm gonna have to rewatch Stranger Things because it's one of my favorite shows.
And I feel like it's just been a while, too. Like,
Yeah.
when did season 4 come out? 2 years ago now?
Maybe
At least, yeah.
middle of the pandemic
Yeah, so at least 2 years ago.
because it got delayed because of the pandemic because they were like just finishing.
Shooting 22, or they
Filming.
air in 22, summer 22.
What are we doing? We can look.
No, my internet's bad.
No, it's back, baby. It's stronger than ever. Season 4 release date 22 May.
May, okay, yeah.
So, I mean, this is probably coming out in, what, 25?
Yeah, next
So,
year.
like, I mean, we're talking almost 3 years of time between seasons. And we're
Still
only
less
getting...
than Severance.
Is it really?
Probably not.
No, I
but
don't think
still.
so.
I mean, Severance should be way simpler to make than the
Yeah.
giant finale of one of the biggest shows ever.
Right.
It's just Severance season 2.
Which we got a trailer for that this week, too.
We
We
did.
did. I
We
forgot
did.
about. You know what? Barely. It
It's
was
like
like
a-
20 seconds.
it was
long.
a
more of
te-
like
it was a tease.
an announcement for
It was
a date.
It was 30 seconds long with 2 5-second images of the word severance and trailer starting out at the beginning, probably. That being said, cannot wait for
Yeah,
that.
I'm
super
very
hyped,
excited
super hyped.
for that.
Who was the person they added for season 2? They were in that trailer too.
Oh yeah.
It was somebody pretty big. Let's just watch the trailer real quick.
The 30-second trailer.
Oh, sorry, it's 40 seconds. Oh, 45 because of this freaking ad. Wait, who are you? Who is this? Oh, it's Gwendolyn Christie. Okay. Is that who that is? Yeah. Okay. I remember. We're good. Looks great. Love that show.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Also love Stranger Things. I at least need to rewatch the first season because that's one of the best seasons of TV ever.
So good. So good. Back when it was simple. Like, I'm not here to complain about
Where
some
it's
of
ended
some
up.
of some of what has gone on, and but as shows grow and get big and they get bigger budgets and they can do things like
They're just looking for their bud.
they're just looking for the bud.
This bald chick showed
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I don't know. Season 1 was special in that way. I think it was this little thing that just became a hit.
Know why that show is great though? It's because those characters have never changed. In season 1, they compare everything to D&D. What do they do in season 4?
Yeah.
They compare everything to D&D, and they still use it to strategize.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I cannot wait. And I'm glad it's going to be the last season too.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
But the last trailer I have is Terminator Zero. This is an anime coming to Netflix.
I didn't watch this one.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, more anime
good.
versions of things.
Good
Yes.
subject for an anime too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great decision.
Yeah, stylistically it just looks
I saw
super
some
fun.
stills from the trailer and I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah.
What studio's doing it?
IG, I think.
What
I
have
didn't
they?
see.
What else have they done?
Oh no.
Sorry, I keep asking questions that you have to Google.
Zero Studio.
IG, yeah.
Production and Skydance.
So the owners of Paramount.
Mattson Tomlinson.
They
is
changed their logo.
helping make
Paramount did.
Did they really?
It's terrible.
it. What else have they done?
Deal hasn't even gone through yet.
I know.
Hasn't been approved.
Like maybe if we change our logo and make it ugly, they'll not buy the controlling shares.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot.
They made Parappa the Rapper? Dog. I love it already.
Oh my gosh, there's just so much stuff.
But yeah,
They've made a lot. We know that.
big thumbs up on this trailer. This looks awesome.
I'm going to thumbs up it without even watching it.
Definitely will be
I'm
checking
just
it out.
honestly, I'm thumb up every trailer for today. Even the Gladiator one, which I wasn't super pumped about, but
A good week to be excited about things.
It's
Good week to be a trailer.
Oh, lordy. Lordy, lordy. Lordy, lordy, I'm over 40.
no, you're not. You liar.
You wish.
You wish you were
I do.
older.
I do.
You're pretty old though.
So I was trying to see how you would.
You might as well
wrap
be
that
40.
back.
Went to I saw you at a pool last night, and you're like, I didn't bring my swimsuit. I'm just here to watch. That is not a
That
sign of
sounds
age.
so creepy.
I don't know what is. Okay, you were there to watch your child.
Yeah, my
Okay.
child was swimming.
Sitting on the side of the
Context
pool.
matters.
I was there to swim.
True,
Did you try Gainer again?
No. The lifeguards are all the same, so I didn't want to
Okay.
get in trouble
You're like, this guy's back again?
leave me alone. Do a gainer, birds just flipping from my fingers mid flip. You're like, I'm doing it again.
That was for you specifically.
You gonna blow the whistle on me?
On me. All right.
I'm putting cases on every one of you.
I'm a lifeguard for 7 years.
Denzel and Gladiator.
Oh.
Lifeguards ain't got shit on me.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, the breakout movie of the week didn't take the top spot at the box office, but had an amazing opening weekend. Tyler and I went to go see it. Longlegs.
Long legs.
Long-legged legs.
I got them.
Not
really, but
we're gonna review it. We're gonna talk about it here.
Legs. Yeah, average leg length.
I think the question
long legs
that's
my height though.
that's been on my mind after we walked out of this movie, Tyler, and then just some of my thoughts around it for the last couple days have been: has this movie been overhyped? So before a review, I want you to answer that question.
I think I've already answered that question for you. I said it when we walked out of the theater. I said the hype for this is gonna hurt the movie. Mm-hmm. And you were like, well, I don't know. And I was like, no, I think it's going to. And it sounds like you've kind of come around to that too. At least based on the question being asked. I'd say, I just think it's not the marketing that's doing it. It's the hype itself.
It's the reactions.
Yeah, and like the reactions are putting it in a different place than I think what it's trying to be in.
So we've talked a little bit about, in our social media review culture of needing to grab attention, right? People will just, flat out over-exaggerate.
You have to make sure your tweet or review snippet gets in the review TV spot.
Yeah.
I saw a dude
or on the DVD
who
case.
put a video out about that specifically.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this question, and he was like, yeah, a lot of people have admitted that they tweet stuff, they say things like that just to be the splash on the splash page. I think the hype, yes, is hurting it. I also would say, it's probably being overhyped a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I think it is being overhyped.
Yeah. The thing that I came out of the theater feeling, and I'm still not quite sure where exactly I land with this. The hype for this film, in regards to how scary it is
way wrong. I'll say
did something for me which I found incredibly frustrating at times, but I actually think it made my viewing experience different. I won't say better or worse, because I was expecting to be like horrified, like every moment of, because the movie does a really phenomenal job of like making you think something's going to happen, and like building that suspense. So it kept my heart rate up, but it was a little artificial because of what I had heard.
Yeah, and I think like to even lend itself or to piggyback that, like we saw it with JT, friend of the show, and he kind of came out of the theater and was like upset, immediately. He's like, I thought this was going to be scary. It's marketed as like one of the scariest films in the past decade. Like he was expecting to come out of it, scared, rattled a little bit, and it's just not that.
It's not that kind of movie.
It's not that kind of movie. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to say it. I think it's more of a thriller or suspense than it is a horror film.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have this conversation again, aren't we? I haven't even seen it.
Yep.
But I think it lives in that space really, really well.
Yes.
It's how I hate bagging on a film for what
marketing and
not even marketing. Marketing maybe has ridden that wave a little bit.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to fault marketing riding a wave when you're a $4 million film, hoping to make 10, and you end up making 22 on your opening weekend, right? Like, I don't know. That to me, that doesn't seem too disingenuous. Maybe a little bit, but not like what we've talked about before with some other marketing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to market for a $150 million film and you're just doing it for the receipts. But yeah, to like actually review this movie, I actually really like this movie. I think that it is a masterclass in suspenseful cinematography, that drags you into every frame, like, and forces you to like watch and observe, and not just be an observer, but be like a participant in a way.
Yeah.
It does have kind of a goofy third act twist that won't land for everyone. I say goofy just because it feels like it's trying to be one thing in the first three quarters of the movie, and then it leans really hard. Like
It goes there.
it goes there, and it just owns it, right? And props for trying something. And for me, it mostly worked.
I would say that starts at the interrogation scene.
Yeah.
Like once the interrogation happens, it's a different movie. And I don't say different, but it goes somewhere where I don't think you expected it to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes all the way there.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say it feels better than something like, so a film that I reviewed earlier this year, Love Lies Bleeding, has a very trippy third.
It didn't work for me.
And it didn't work for Luke. I would say that this lands way better than that. It's not nearly that
bizarre. Yeah.
It's just not quite what you're expecting.
I mean, there wasn't a giant at the end of it? Just all of a sudden is a giant 30-foot person?
Who was a regular-sized person the entirety of the film.
Yeah.
Wow. That's in Love Lies Bleeding?
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers.
Wow.
But
That's okay.
it literally shook me so hard I didn't like the movie. Like, and I was enjoying it up to that point. Okay, sorry, this is not about Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah.
Please talk about the movie you actually.
So that's kind of where I've landed at. Tyler, I'm curious.
So I want to start my review with, this movie is probably like the prime genre for me. Like this is the kind of movies I like to watch.
Yeah.
A little unsettling, a little creepy, kind of detective based. You know, I love that mystery, the thriller. And this, I think, in that space, is a really good movie. You know, you've hit on a couple things I was going to hit on with, you know, it being a masterclass and just the way it's made. One of the things we talked about a lot, the lenses, or lens, I don't know.
The lens choice in this is
really cool.
Is really fascinating. They're using wide angle lenses for every shot, but you're getting the experience of wides, mediums, close ups. Like that still exists, but they're really thinking about how they're framing and blocking to make use of the wideness of a lens on a close up, which is really, really fun.
Yeah, it's super cool. But for me, you know, the thing I'll hit on, I think the way that the details of this script are thought out, I'll give you the thing without context, the algorithm itself, to me, is one of the most well thought out things in a horror movie I've seen in a long time. And just where that all leads. I think just everything about that works so well, even if you don't completely understand it. And I think that's what makes it so impressive to me. And then also just the performances in this are so good. Every single person.
Yep.
The chemistry is great. It is definitely one of the better horror movies in recent memory. I'd say horror. In terms of that, right? Like it's not going for super cheap scares. It's not going for really many scares, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yet it still makes you feel very unsettled.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it just works really well for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I liked it.
The setting, I think, and I don't know what camera they used on this, but it feels very much like a 90s.
Yep.
It takes place in the 90s, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It does.
Good. Get rid of those cell phones.
Yeah, that's a big thing that you don't think about when you're watching it, but you're like, oh yeah, if they had cell phones, this really would have not worked as well.
Yeah. How would this have worked?
But no, I think I don't want to go too deep into spoilers, but I do think there's some stuff to discuss that could flirt with that line.
Sure.
I don't know how much we want to talk about, but I just think, I don't know, that twist is pretty wild.
So, and what's weird is that the twist. Here's what I think we could say about the twist without it being spoilery. Um. So the first, two acts are very much feels like a classic serial killer.
Yeah.
Who is Longlegs, right? And we figure Longlegs is
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. I was like Chris Pine. No, that's not right. Wait, what? Chris Pine's been my like go-to actor for when I don't know an actor's name. Like that's the name that pops into my head. I don't know why. Sorry, Chris. But like so much of the twist is independent of him and his performance. Mm-hmm. So there's like his performance is one aspect of what makes this movie like creepy and unsettling. And then we meet him. We have that interrogation scene, and it kind of like continues just to roll like faster and faster and faster into what the movie is actually trying to do. And it's much less about the character of Longlegs than you think it's going to be.
Yeah. Which
is kind of interesting, and I think they do a pretty. Look, I kind of like the twist.
I do too.
It's as unsettling as it might. Like I like it because it's unsettling. Yeah. I like it because it makes me uncomfortable.
Yep.
And I like that it itself is not dependent on the performance of Cage.
Yep.
I think it's more interesting that other characters then
have to experience
this thing
without him there.
Yeah, and they do a good job of continuing on and making you feel like it's real.
Yeah, it's certainly fascinating. I'd say too, just to go back to Cage's performance, I think the opening scene of this movie might be the scariest scene in the whole movie.
It's creepy.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's our first real interaction with Longlegs.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, cuckoo. Haha.
What is the thing he does with?
He does with his hands, where he goes like this. Yeah. Yeah, dude, it is. He does some weird stuff, man, and but he's good. Micah Monroe, is that her name?
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Right. She's great.
She plays the weirdest detective character, but she's so good at it. Mm-hmm. And to give you an idea, she's like this detective who has a little bit of, I'd say, clairvoyance,
like
or so.
Premonition.
Yeah, like she has a really good feel for things. Just
yeah,
she always feels like she knows where to be looking, which is kind of it's kind of silly when you hear it, but it makes sense within the confines of the movie, especially by the end.
It works.
It works really well, and she does a great job bringing it to life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess last thing with Osgood Perkins, just coming over from indie to making a full big film, big budget, not really
big $4 million
budget, but a movie with a bigger platform.
More.
I think he did a great job.
More commas, maybe.
Yeah.
One more comma.
One more comma, maybe.
I think he did a great job, and I look forward to what he makes next.
Agreed. Yeah, and I will say that for 95% of what we see of Nick Cage in his performance, like it really doesn't feel like Nick Cage.
No.
There's a couple moments where...
What was the moment for you when you were like, oh, that's Nick Cage?
When he's
There's a couple moments...
I'm going to steal the Longlegs of Independence.
When he gets loud, I think just his
voice comes
regular voice comes through a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only time. Because he never looks like Nick
there's
Cage.
a moment I think he does. And
really?
There's only one moment. It's the interrogation scene when he opens his eyes real big. And I'm like, oh, that's Nick Cage. Like, because the prosthetic is so interesting.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk about that offline.
Sure.
And why does he look the way he looks? I have a theory, but I don't know. I don't want to spoil it.
Right.
But yeah, it's super interesting.
Yeah. It definitely for most people who enjoy this kind, I don't know, like recommending horror things is always kind of weird. It's hard. But I think if you're a fan of horror / thriller, and you can handle a bit of being unsettled, because that's what the movie is going to push you into a place where like you're going to be at least a little bit uncomfortable.
I will say, just even more so, when I talk about certain scenes of this movie with people who've seen it, I get chills.
Yeah.
Like, I get uncomfortable. Like, the very last scene of the movie makes my skin crawl.
Yeah,
like, that whole moment, I was just like,
oh! Both of us got chills at one point in that. We looked over at each other at a moment, like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't like this. But it's going there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it still just hits so well.
I'll also, like, a caveat, like, the movie's not overly gory,
No.
but there is some, like, there's one particular scene that is, like, pretty, like, ooh.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick and brief, but like if you would stay away from this because you're afraid that it's going to be super gory, not the case.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it deals dabbles in like kind of some occult stuff.
Yep.
So like if that's maybe your sticking point, maybe stay away. But ultimately, I think that it's one that I hope people watch with the idea, going in knowing that it's not the scariest movie on planet Earth.
No.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a slow burn.
But an unsettling slow burn that is I think pretty fascinating, and I hope people go in with that mentality, and I think people will appreciate it a little more than some of the. I think there's some counter argument reviews that are out there. This movie was getting a lot of hype, especially the first, leading up to opening weekend, and then those Thursday night previews. And I've seen even like just kind of in my circles, some people have it's that swing thing we talk about with reviews, right? Like, everyone's giving it 5. So I'm gonna give it a 1 star.
Yeah.
Because oh my gosh, it was not what I was expecting. Well, here this is me trying to set your expectations.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's some really unique filmmaking and really good filmmaking in this film.
I would agree. I will say, for all the positives you just said, I do have
some cons.
One big one.
Yeah.
And I say big just as it really stands out to me. The end of the movie, just it works. But I can't help but wish there was just a little bit more.
Sure.
In the sense of, like, I still don't quite know who won. Right? And, like, that works, and it's fine as is, but I would like to know more.
Well, there's something that is attempted at the end of the film that doesn't happen.
Correct.
There's something that doesn't happen, doesn't work. A character is trying to do something and it doesn't work, and then there's like let's get out of here kind of a moment, right? And then we cut.
And then it's over.
And so there is absolutely that ambiguity of like, okay, well, what does that mean for
everybody moving forward?
Everyone moving forward, exactly.
You have to wait for Longlegs too. Obviously.
Maybe.
I definitely don't feel like it's doing that.
No.
But, yeah, it's just...
Longlegs 2, Back in the Habit.
$22 million says, we got 3 more Longlegs movies.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, no, I think it...
Just wait till Longlegs 4 when they go to space.
I just think it leaves a little bit to be desired.
Sure. It's not a super
especially because the story, to me, is so good.
Yeah. That's interesting that they would do that in the serial killer type thing. Because I feel like, as far as horror goes, it's pretty common that you don't get full closure in a horror movie.
Yeah.
But at least in like the serial killer type stories, at least that I've seen, usually there is.
So here's what I'll say to that.
Whether it's good or bad.
Because I agree. But here's what I'll say. This is a very like Holmes and Watson-esque movie where like at a certain point they just lay it all out for you. Exposition dump. This is exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is interesting in horror because you don't get that.
Yeah.
But this is a detective film at its core, and so you get that, and so you're like, okay, well, cool. Now I know. but you get that before there's any closure. So you're like, okay.
So when the thing that doesn't happen that we're talking about at
Exactly.
the end is like,
You're like, oh, okay, so I'm not getting anything.
okay, so
I'm not getting
what
any
does that
closure.
mean?
Yeah, because you get the whole, like, how and why and what was happening, but you don't get anything that says this is where we are now.
Yeah.
It's more of a, well, now you have this other question you have to answer, and you're never going to get it answered unless they talk about it, right? Like, I would love to watch at least the last scene with the commentary, just to hear, like, what the thought process was there. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Tony Romo commentary on Longlegs.
Please, God, no.
You said any commentary.
But
where would you compare it to those other, like, detective horror?
It's not as good as the two that they're tying to it.
Which
I think
Silence of the Lambs and Seven.
I think it fits very closely in with Zodiac.
Okay.
So we talked about that.
I think
after.
Zodiac is the closest thing I can compare this to.
I love Zodiac, so.
But it gets way weirder than Zodiac.
Yeah.
Well, Zodiac is a true story.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there's
you
a
couldn't
lot
really
more,
go crazy with your expectations.
There's a lot more closure than Zodiac, but then we go into, like, again, kind of the weird stuff.
We take a really weird turn. I wouldn't say it's really weird. I think there's some implication in the trailer, but, like, it takes a turn where you think that maybe there's this thing going on, and then they're like, no, it's going way further than you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zodiac, having not seen it, don't kill me, but just knowing, what that is about, this is very much along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen Zodiac.
I thought we all watched that together.
Frequently watched Zodiac.
Me too.
I watch that movie like
Seven
once,
and Zodiac. I watch
like
all the time.
I watch like once every 4 years. I watch Zodiac.
That movie's so good.
Yeah. The other movie I've heard it compared to is Prisoners.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love Prisoners. Another one.
Probably Villeneuve's most underrated movie. But
so Luke, after our review and hearing us compare it to those two movies, where's your interest level in seeing this at now?
The same as it was, which is very high.
Very high, just maybe at home.
We'll see.
I truly think you could easily handle this in a theater.
I'm not worried. Once people were like, oh, this isn't scary, I wasn't worried about that.
Yeah.
Now it's just more of a time thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, you guys went to go see it on a night that I worked till 8:30. So, like, your movie started, I was still in the office.
Yeah.
But,
sorry.
No, it's okay. But, so it's just a time thing. I think I would want to go with somebody, but...
Yeah.
We'll see. I have no problem with just waiting till home too. So
I mean, if
the first time I watched Seven, I watched it on TV.
We walked out of the theater and I was like, I don't know if I'd watch that again.
I'd watch it again.
I think I would watch it again.
The more time I sat away from it, I was like, I'd watch this again.
Same.
You might even maybe see something you didn't.
I definitely would.
Kind of where
be
I
like, maybe there is a sense of closure that I didn't get in the first time.
Because no lie, half of that movie I sat there like this,
waiting for something to happen,
being like. Trying to, like, not look in the corners of the, like, actively not looking at the little things that are probably hidden there.
Well, honestly, I think that's one of the reasons. I watched Seven when I was probably too young for the first time. I watched it on AMC, though, so there was commercials. And I finished it, and I was like, that was the best movie I've ever seen. And I immediately got on Amazon, and I ordered a DVD of it.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, I watched it again, and I was like, that was even better. Yeah. Because I got the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff too. Sorry, we're just continuing on here.
Oh, why not?
But there's definitely stuff in this movie that they do it just enough to make you question if it's actually happening or not.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all a dream.
Not in that sense. But there's some visual things that you'll see and then you won't see.
Yeah.
Or that will just kind of dissipate and you're like, is that?
She just
no, I don't think I
time.
saw that.
She lives in a drug rehab center. She's just doing shrooms.
There is a rehab center in this film.
Yeah.
An asylum. What did they call them in the 90s?
Arkham.
Yeah, specifically.
So, yeah. With me, this landed at fanboy worthy. Again, I think, especially once you move away preconceived notions of what the social media internet hype has said about the movie is, and you take it for what it is. I think it does a really good job of executing on what it's trying to do.
Yep.
And like Tyler said, these kind of films are right up our alley in terms of, like, I can handle gore. I'm not going to go watch Saw
yeah.
because, right?
I don't mind it, but when it feels excessive or unwarranted,
yeah,
it's less like, it's more like, that's annoying.
the moment,
Yeah.
the moment or moments of, like, gore in this film feel earned because they're so rare.
I would go as far as to say that the kills, the scariness, the things they discuss feel very tasteful in how they handle them.
Yeah.
The subject of kids and stuff are handled well.
Yeah.
Which
yeah. I was absolutely worried I was gonna.
Well, once they start kind of peeling back what Longlegs is doing, you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
no.
this is why people got sick. This is why people felt these ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but they do things in a very tasteful way that, doesn't really bother you too much.
No.
Other than, like, your kind of creepy crawly.
Sure.
But
Like spiders?
this lands on a
Creepy crawling?
Longlegs.
He's in the interrogation room. He's like, I'm actually a spider.
Psych!
This lands in a fanboy worthy for me as well. Probably dead center and fanboy worthy.
Yeah.
Definitely a good film. If you love this genre, I think you'll like this. I think you'll find a lot you enjoy about it, and you'll be impressed with just how sophisticated but digestible it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just a huge compliment to Osgood Perkins and his writing. So, fanboy worthy for me.
Sweet.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm excited to see it eventually.
Well, hit us up when you're going. So
Maybe I'll just wait till it's out and y'all can just come over and watch it at home with me.
I definitely feel like this will be on like Max or something pretty quick.
probably. Who distributed it?
Neon.
I don't know where their stuff goes. Anyways.
I don't know what else they've made. Oh, I will say their trailers they're putting out look
They made the
awesome.
Apollo 11 documentary.
Well, the trailers that they kind of were pimping in this were awesome.
Yeah.
There was one that actually looked terrifying to me.
Which
The one
was
with
that?
the little lady running around chasing people.
Yeah.
That movie looked
Thelma?
scary to me.
No.
I was like, dude, this is creepy,
Oh, no.
man. She's scary looking too.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you. Okay, well, while Tyler looks up.
Oh, well, they did Anatomy of a Fall.
Never heard of it. No, it's kidding.
They did Parasite.
Never heard of that either.
They did Ferrari. They did that Infinity Pool movie. They did Self-Reliance. Apollo 11, yeah. They did Immaculate, that one that just came out pretty recently.
So who knows?
Is that Titan?
They did
Titan?
Pig.
where it
Was
Was
ends
that
that
up?
Nick
Titan?
Cage? Yeah, they
I
did.
bet it does end up on HBO. If I were to put money on it, I would say it ends up on
I, Tonya?
HBO.
I did I, Tonya, yeah.
But
They've made some good stuff. Beach Bum.
with as successful as it is, it may get a nice little bidding war when it goes to streaming too.
Yeah.
If they don't have a deal already signed with
Palm
all
Springs.
of their stuff. So, okay, well that's enough about Longlegs. Luke, you also went to the movies this week.
Yeah, I wanted to see a movie too.
Did you not get to go?
I didn't go.
Oh, I
no.
thought you went.
No. So, Luke, what'd you think about Fly Me to the Moon?
Fly me to the moon. Listen, we're gonna go in a completely opposite direction with this.
Oh,
one.
okay.
not necessarily of quality. Like, okay, I'll just start. I
Just
did
of
like
Longlegs.
it. Just
Yeah.
totally different genre. We're going from horror, thriller, serial killer, creepy to rom-com, space, fictional history thing.
On a sports game, I've never seen numbers like that. That's crazy.
Dude, that is
Sorry.
insane.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just watching Twitch.
Luke's
Um,
distracted.
Fly Me to the Moon is the story of the Apollo 11 launch, but it's how they faked it. Or they didn't. You'll have to watch the movie to figure out what happens. But I'll tell you, in real life, it wasn't fake. So, I'm sorry
I agree.
to blow your mind.
Blue pillar over there.
I hate to ruin everything, but there actually is our flag on the moon, and people walked there. So, but no, this is a rom-com, and I don't get out to see rom-coms a whole lot.
But you do get out to see space movies.
But I get out to see space movies. You're
10 out of 10 times.
I was not missing anything that was Apollo 11 related. And I think it's really cool when they released it because tomorrow is the day Apollo 11 launched 55 years ago. July 16th, they landed 19th on the moon. So I just a little pro that has nothing to do with the movie. I appreciated that they released the movie around the time of the anniversary.
Yeah.
It's like
cool.
instead of releasing it like November or something, just random.
And this is an Apple production, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, it's funny, it's charming, and there was a couple of moments in it where I was like, "Oh man, that's really like sad or sweet," and like it was like making my heart flutter, and like I was getting these heartfelt feelings. It stars Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum are your two leads. Overall, I think they're good. They're not gonna blow you away with their performance. There are moments where like they're really good, and then there's moments where you're like, okay, that's okay.
This is Channing Tatum and ScarJo. Yeah.
But their chemistry though is really good.
That's what I was gonna ask. If
which can make or break a rom-com.
Big time.
Ghosted being probably the most recent example for me, where their chemistry was so bad. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Non-existent chemistry.
Wouldn't make you want to take your eyes out and put them in your ears. But no, their chemistry is really good. So I think it's good that part of the movie works. The thing that really sold it for me though was the supporting cast. And that is Woody Harrelson randomly showing up as this sketchy government agent.
Heck yeah.
You have Ray Romano, who's Channing Tatum's like right-hand man in the Kennedy launch facility.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in it a lot, but he gets these little moments that are so funny or so like heartfelt. You're just like, oh man, like where has this guy been for the last couple of years? And then there's a cat in the movie. The complete opposite of the one from A Quiet Place. This cat is what's the best word? It was like torturing the characters. The opposite of the A Quiet Place, where it's like this sweet, quiet cat, and this one is just a menace to everybody in Kennedy. Well, mainly to Channing Tatum. But I loved that dang cat. And then you have, I don't remember his name, but it's the dean from Community. Plays the director of the movie to fake the moon landing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And he's just a hoot. And them just all together, I think it was so funny. There was lots of laugh out loud moments. My theater was awesome.
Nice.
Theater 1. So did the left. Best theater.
We were in 3. I've never seen a movie in that theater.
Yeah, I think that was our
The
first
one right next to the IMAX,
Yeah.
like away at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Those 5 there are the best. I love those. But like my audience was like reacting to all the moments, and it was great, and I felt like we were all reacting the same, so I feel like
awesome.
they did their job. But yeah, it was really good, and I really enjoyed the like fake history they were going for, or maybe it's real. Like I don't know. Like maybe they were trying to fake the moon landing, and the way that the story progresses, like, oh, I doubt it happened like that, but it'd be kind of cool if they were like had this weird contingency in place, and it just so happened that they made it to the moon, didn't die, and came home. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I think it's interesting too. You're talking about marketing and kind of like overselling it and almost like lying for Longlegs,
Mm-hmm.
which is Scarlett Johansson's character in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, what she does is marketing, and like her first scene is her wearing a fake pregnant belly to go sell seat belts to Ford Mustang. And like she's just using things to her advantage, and that's kind of how she gets the job to sell NASA to the American people. And eventually leads to we're gonna have to fake the moon landing, and she's kind of in charge of setting that all up. But yeah, I think if you're not gonna go see Longlegs, and you want to take somebody out on a date, I think this is perfect. It was a lot of fun. I gave it a fanboy worthy.
Nice.
The space stuff is not very good. There's sound and space in this movie.
Of course there is.
Why? We don't need this. We know how space works now. I'm hearing all the little puff jet propulsions coming off the ship. I don't remember what it's called. The Eagle. It's just like, come on now. Just, you don't need it. Just play some music. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I give it fanboy worthy.
Nice.
Awesome. Love to see it.
Dope.
Woo, woo. 2 good movies this week.
Yep.
Let's
and
go.
Low key in the back of my mind, the character that Woody Harrelson plays is his same character as the character he played in White House Plumbers. Like these sketchy government agents
he's
serving
so good
Nixon.
In White House Plumbers. He's so good in that. Ugh.
Except he's way dumber in White House Plumbers than this. Like what he's doing in this kind of makes sense, but it's a comedy. And he's not really in charge. He's just telling people what to do. In White House Plumbers, he's like the biggest idiot. Dude, that show was hilarious. But
Indeed. All right, well, let's move over to some news. I can't remember if it had happened by the time.
how about some news about who won the baseball thing you were watching?
Oh yeah, is it over?
It's still going. No, Gunnar Henderson did not advance past the first round.
Boo!
Yeah, he struggled.
Did
It's all
Bobby?
good. Huh? No, I don't believe so.
Was he even there?
Yeah.
Okay. Does every team send a person?
For the home run derby, no.
Oh, they should.
There was 8 of them. Bobby and Gunnar are out, and I think Adolis and one other guy got out.
They're too busy winning. No.
Yeah, right. Gunnar has the second most home runs in the American League, which when they matter. So that'll do.
Yeah, these fake home runs don't matter.
Yeah, he was like hitting the piss out of the ball like line drives, and it's like, no, dude, you got hit up. Which like
He's too used to just getting the next.
he's like, I'm just gonna get base hits.
getting people on base.
I just came out here to get some extra BP with my Scooby Doo bat. But no, he didn't advance. Which
Man, what if he would have used a real bat? Do you think he would have?
I don't think it would have mattered.
They should have let him use metal bats.
They'd kill someone in the stands.
Get him out of the stands.
They'll need to sell
So
tickets.
you got to sell tickets.
Just put up extra nets. It's fine.
Give everybody a shield with a waiver on it.
With a waiver on the back of it that you have to sign to use it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just make them do that like phalanx.
There you go.
Yeah, they can just watch through those plastic riot
sections
shields.
of the crowd.
Dunk.
It just lights up like a section number, and everyone has to do this before the ball hits.
And if it hits it, it like lights up and glows. So
And
it's
that's you get the ball.
So it's interactive.
If it hits
Yeah.
your shield, you get the ball.
like, yeah, my shield's lighting up.
Yeah, so they know where to come and get you.
Exactly. Okay.
This sounds like the Nickelodeon version.
Yeah, it really
Yes.
does.
Yeah. Slime time.
It really does. We talked about at least one movie that did really well this week. There was a movie came out this summer, 3 weeks ago. Has not done well. Horizon.
Oh, I saw this.
And in fact,
I was like, what are you talking about?
did so poorly that they've pulled part 2 from the theatrical release set for September.
Delayed indefinitely until the first one maybe can catch some steam.
On streaming.
It needs to go to streaming like right now.
Yeah.
Put it on Peacock.
No, it will go to Max. It's
Yeah.
Warner Bros.
That too.
Know what they should do though? They should take part 1 and part 2 and edit it into a 6-part series.
Wit did advance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he beat Ramirez. Sorry, go ahead.
But like re-edit that thing, because that's the biggest problem with it. It's just, it's so hard to follow.
Yeah.
So re-edit it, 6 1-hour episodes, boom, you have a limited series.
Nice.
Go for Emmys instead of Oscars.
Some other news. Regal here in the U.S. got a $250 million from, I don't know, wherever giant corporations
the money machine.
pull money out of, yeah, to upgrade its theaters. Thank God, because our Regals are plainly just horrible. That's maybe harsh.
Well, they haven't changed since they were the Warren.
The problem is,
except for the IMAX.
the problem is
which is also old now.
Bill Warren kept these theaters extremely well kept, and it just has felt like they became very generic, run of the mill. Like, they look cool.
That
still.
dude ran for governor or whatever, and then it just went. Gosh dang it!
Just disappeared.
Maybe he'll buy him back.
Probably not.
No.
He's like a gajillionaire now because he sold them.
Yeah, good for him.
Maybe, but so if you go, sorry, I don't have a lot of pity for rich people.
Hey, it's not pity. I just said good for him. He got a bunch of money. Good for him.
Don't have pity. Just steal from him.
Robin Hood style.
No, I'm taking it. It's called greed.
But
called
yeah,
Greed
so
and Envy coming
if you
together.
If you go to Warren Theaters here, maybe in the next 6 to 12 months, you may be seeing some upgrades. We'll see. They are trying to cater to more of the high end clientele. They're talking about recliners and nicer, seats in theaters and things like that. So we'll see. I do like our Warren 21 out east. We don't get out there a lot, but it's nice to get out there every once in a while.
It's pretty sweet.
So
I'm worried if they add recliners, then I'm gonna have to start going to the bathroom in middle of movies.
Oh yeah, because you had to during Flash.
The only time I ever have to go to the bathroom is when I'm in a recliner seat.
yeah, just can't recline. Just don't do it.
When I'm sitting in a normal chair, I guess it like just pinches the bladder.
Pinches it.
Holds
Pinches
it
that
in
off
there,
a little bit.
Then I stand up and it's like, oh, we gotta go.
Is that what you got?
I got one more thing, but you can go.
I don't really have a news stories, but I have one casting rumor for a DC project that I want you guys to approve before I say, because I don't know if it's founded at all.
Before you say it?
Well, just approve if you're cool with hearing it. Like, I know Luke's been avoiding stuff.
I was like, you were. I thought
just-
you were asking us for the approval of the casting.
No. Well, I'm going to if I say it.
No, I've been trying to avoid set photos.
Okay, cool. This casting rumor to me, I think people are going to feel a certain way. But honestly, the more I think about it, the more I actually am in love with it. And it's for Booster Gold. And the rumor is Kumail Nanjiani. And at first I was like, I don't know. But then the more I think of how he acts, I think he'd be fun.
that's perfect.
Yeah, right?
It's perfect.
It'd be so good. He would be awesome.
The problem is you look at the comic and you see a blonde
white dude.
man.
Yeah.
And you're like, who are the blonde men? And you're like, oh, Glenn Powell. And then I roll my eyes because he's the it person now.
Well, and because
no,
James Gunn's attached.
That's why I loved my Rahul Kohli casting for Mr. Fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's so out of left field and so perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then, no, who'd they cast? The it person.
Yep.
Kumail Nanjiani's perfect. Just do it. Just
And
cast him right now.
the way he acts, too, is perfect for Booster Gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's the false confidence thing is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he would crush it. And there's a really good chance for a heartfelt moment in there.
And he's clearly not doing anything with Eternals.
No. And he kind of sparked this rumor himself by tweeting something. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. My other news story, College Football 25 is out, guys. It's out for early access players. EA Play trial. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can check it out. And they did a global launch instead of a time zone launch, which I think is always a better idea.
Because there were only 3 time zones who play this game.
Maybe. I think it'd be
Or
4.
four.
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 I was gonna say I think it'd be 4.
Or maybe whatever Hawaii is. What time zone is Hawaii?
Hawaii's got a population of like 3 million people.
They're in the game. Hawaii University.
University of
I'm saying
Hawaii
it is
Rainbow Warriors.
Not
baby.
like it.
Tua's from Hawaii.
Yeah,
I
he's
know
from-
didn't go to
He's
Hawaii.
from St.
but-
Louis High School.
In Hawaii?
Yeah.
There's St. Louis in Hawaii?
St. Louis High School.
Well-
It's like the best high school in Hawaii.
That sounds so un-Hawaii.
That's where Marcus Mariota's from too.
What the heck?
They just breed quarterbaks, dude, all the time.
They just breed mediocre quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Great college players,
Let's
though.
not breed anything,
Well, that's what they do. Yeah, that's all I got.
especially humans.
That's all I got. But
Why not?
I approve.
We
of
need
the-
humans to continue the human race.
I approve of Camille Nanjiani as Booster Gold.
Sweet. Real quick, you mentioned Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, prices.
Prices are changing, and not just
So is my
prices.
subscription, baby.
But the like what you get for each tier is
Yeah.
changing too.
I'm tier 5 sub to a...
Not good. Price change, I get it.
But they've backtracked hard on the plan
The
with this.
yeah. So
They do it just in time for Call of Duty,
yeah. Gets
which is fine with me because I got college football now, man. I don't care about any other game.
Are you ever gonna play another game, you think?
I'm sure I will, but I don't have. I played a half. I'm gonna talk about it later. But the minute my first offensive drive, I go, I don't care about Star Wars Outlaws anymore. I don't care about the Quidditch game.
Did you cry a little bit?
No, but I was pretty emotional. I was pretty fired up, dude. I was juiced. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, the tier changes are interesting. They're grandfathering in if you were on the like lower thing for day one games, I guess. I don't know.
For how long?
Yeah, it's super weird and
Until
kind of-
Call of Duty comes out.
yeah, probably. It's super weird and convoluted. But man, Xbox just continues to get in their own way with announcements and things.
Well, I'll still have Game Pass for at least a little bit because there's a game coming out Friday that I want to play. So
Yeah.
Is it the Siege Flintlock game or whatever?
no, Dungeons of Hindenburg.
Oh, okay.
It's like the pixelated 3D
Yeah.
Zelda
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It looks sweet.
skateboarding game.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Luke, did you have any stories? News stories?
News stories? No, I did not. I
Okay.
didn't write anything down.
You had
No,
one.
that's
I saw it.
No.
Shelley Duvall
Shelley
passed away.
Passing away. Yeah. R.I.P.
Most famously known for The Shining
And Popeye.
and Popeye.
Bye.
Oh, you didn't have it written down.
No.
I could have swore I saw it on your thing.
Are you
Tyler's
clairvoyant
seeing things over here.
Maybe.
detective?
I hope not.
Yeah,
There's
like
some pretty heavy implications.
I was gonna
there.
say, based on the way that movie goes, that is not a good sign.
Wait, we're gonna deal with this now. Let's figure this out. Anyways,
Shoot me now.
no.
Well, actually, don't because I want to
No,
play college football.
Not now. But yeah, in terms of my weekly update, I really didn't do much outside of watching my weekly shows and going to see Longlegs. So
You pointed at Luke. I think you.
I
meant to
pointed in
point
your
at me.
direction. I'm
Okay.
sorry I didn't bring my hand all the way over.
You should have.
Pointed at. Oh, we watched Longlegs together.
Dink.
Nice.
So that's it for my weekly update. That's not true. Oh, I continued to read my book.
Nice. I read something this
What
week.
page you on now?
I'm another 100 pages in,
That's it.
like 150,
That's pretty good, actually.
Out of...
Well done.
600.
Not
How
bad.
far did we say we was going to get?
I said he was gonna finish it after he told me how
I don't
long it
remember what
was.
I said.
You said like 400 pages.
I am assuming you're never going to read another page.
You said 45%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be
I'm not there yet.
like 275.
You could still be right. You're not, but
You could get super busy.
I could. I am going to here in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. As far as my weekly update goes, I did some pretty cool stuff this week. I took my oldest child, Bryn, to her first theater movie. We went and saw Paw Patrol the Mighty movie.
Best movie ever.
Huge shout out to the Regal Summer Movie Express for Kids.
Super cool program.
$1 tickets. I took a day off of work, went with her. We got some fruit snacks and shared those. It was really fun. She was very excited.
Love fruit snacks.
They were so good.
Oh my gosh.
And she did great. It was really cool to watch her watch that movie. I was a little emotional, especially early on, like seeing her like she knows all the characters, so anytime they'd pop up, she'd be like Sky, and like she'd get excited.
Yeah, yeah.
She was so into it, and I was like choked up. I took some pictures of her. But like all the kids in the theater were really good. Like I didn't have it bad. Like kids weren't running around. They were all seated. They were all watching. It was funny. Bryn's a little too small for the chairs in there. So like they fold up on her and they pinch her.
Did she not get the red booster?
She didn't like it, but it also didn't sit right. It kept leaning to one side, so she would like lean over and she'd feel like she was falling the whole time. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, getting big enough to not have to worry about the boosters is nice.
It's a huge win, I'm sure. But she had 2 early potty breaks, and after that, she settled in and watched the whole movie. It was really good. 10 out of 10 experience. Would recommend. And part of that day, I like I said, I took the day off of work, so I just spent the whole day doing things with Bryn. We went and had breakfast, went to the movie, went to the library in the afternoon. And part of going to the library, we were there so long that I ended up going and looking at stuff for me, and I picked up a couple comic books that I had interest in reading, but had never really, I didn't want to buy them. But I picked up Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Tom Taylor's Nightwing run. Read Volume 1 of that. It's very much what most people do with Nightwing, in that there's something tied to his family, and that's just how it goes. I feel like people need to move past that at some point. Everything's either tied to his family or Zuko. Every time. This is a Zuko thing. But...
Is he trying to hunt the Avatar?
No, it's Zuko's daughter.
He's in love with Zuko's daughter?
No.
And then you find out and he's like, oh, but your parents killed my parents.
So it's kind of the opposite. So like she's becomes the mayor because of one of the crime families there, Blockbuster, puts her in power. And so he like goes to confront her because he knows she's a Zuko. And it actually turns out that she's his half-sister, because John, before meeting his mom, had a baby with her mom, obviously. And so they're related. And I was like, okay. They're going back.
So hopefully they don't love each other.
No. It's
simply like... It's not Nightwing Game of Thrones edition.
But the really cool storyline in this is that Alfred passes away and leaves his like financials to Dick. And writes him this really heartfelt letter about how he feels like Dick always makes the right choice and can inspire hope in a way that Bruce can't. And so you get this really emotional, like Dick's trying to figure out how to help Bloodhaven with this money, while also dealing with this family drama that he's got going on that he didn't know he was going to be dealing with. And he gets a dog.
And I'm sure his butt looks great.
Always. Babs is in it. They're back together, which is always a good thing in my opinion.
Love Babs, yeah. Always.
Always love when they're together. It's just fun. Tim shows up for a little bit. It's really good. Book 1 was. I'm reading book 2 now, and it just...
Is she
the Nightwing story just needs...
Or is she...
She's kind of both. She's got the spine implant at this point, but she's mostly operating as Oracle. She's only come out in the field once, and that was in the 2nd volume.
Okay. So
she's kind of just holding things down for now. His dog does have a name as well as a code name, which is hilarious. So it's Haley and Bitewing. So that's a pretty fun little... It's a fun little joke that kind of runs throughout. But no, they're just... It's really easy reading. Like, I just really love Dick and Babs and Tim and like those characters. They're just really fun to be with. So some of the Titans show up to support, and it's really cool. And then the last thing I did, I can't really speak a whole lot on it, but I played one half of EA Sports College Football 25 before I came over here. I played a Play Now game, which I never do, but I knew I didn't have a lot of time.
Just had to get in there.
Yeah, so I put on the hardest difficulty and jumped in.
The opposite of what I do for every game.
And I played as Baylor against TCU, and boys, let me tell you, this is, look, very small sample size, but this is the most real football feeling game I've ever played in my life. I felt like I ran a speed option play. If you don't know, I played football at Tabor. At a certain point in my career, I became our quarterback. We ran the option, so I'm very familiar with the option. I know it like the back of my hand. And I ran a speed option play from the gun to the right side, short side of the field. And like they highlight who your pitch man is, even if you're on the hardest difficulty. But I'm not kidding you. he went to the running back, so you cut that up every time. And when he goes to the running back and I hit the stick to cut it up, it felt so real. It felt so real. I was like, I'm making a real life football read in a video game right now. And that is just something that Madden never captured for me. Madden feels very stock. It's just like stock pictures, right? Like you've seen it before. It is what it is.
Madden seems like it's, hey, do you like football?
Yeah.
Why don't you come play
Here's a nice little, like, you can play some football, you don't.
It's a kid's game.
It is. It's more
It's a kid's
arcadey.
game.
This feels so real, and it's amazing. Like, I cannot tell you how much I felt like when I'm on defense and I'm the home team, the crowd's rocking, the screen's shaking, the other team's trying to call audibles and they can't do it, and I was like, this is just so good. All that to say, it was 21-21 at halftime. I can't play defense to save my life, but apparently that's a thing. So,
Well, maybe just Baylor's bad defense. Maybe it's the players, not the
yeah,
coach.
they're not great. Well, I just got a text from some friends who are playing, and it says, is it possible to have a low-scoring game? So, one of the things I think with college football, there aren't many low-scoring games. It's not common. So, I think that's just part of the design choice. And, man.
So you're telling me if you can get really good at defense, you can dominate the game.
Probably so. Yeah. Yeah, if you can figure out defense, which I'm sure I will. And, over time I'll talk more about this. I don't know that this is the forum for a deep dive on EA Sports College Football, but there's some things where you can hide coverages and custom stems on routes and things like that football games have never had before. And, man, this goes back to my point I've been making to people. It's amazing what a game can be when it has a full development cycle. Sports games have a 1-year cycle every year. This had a 3-year cycle. Yeah. And you can see it from the presentation to the polish to the movements and characters to the playbooks to just everything about it. It just feels so good. And I've played 15 minutes. I can already tell, I'm going to lose myself in this game. I'm going home. As soon as we are done here, I love you guys. I'm going home and I'm playing until I feel like it's a bad decision to play another game because I have to work tomorrow. But man, it's so impressive. And I'm already off at the end of the week. I know. My boss even jokingly today is like, so I'll see you tomorrow, right? And I was like, well, and he's like, you better be here tomorrow. I was like, all right. He's like, I don't care how late you stay up playing that game. You better be at work. I was like, all right, you got me. But no, man, I'm just very excited. I'm happy that it feels good to play. It's long overdue, and I will be talking about this week to week. This will be my destiny. Like Luke always talks about Destiny. It's, his favorite game. This will be that for me. I can already tell.
Nice.
So,
I've always wondered why they just don't, update Madden.
So that's my thing. They should be platforms.
It's like, hey, it's a new year. Here's, our $15, $20...
I'd even say
expansion.
Make it 40 if you wanted.
Sure,
with
yeah.
some new features and stuff that they've been able to.
Destiny's every year is still a full game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just add in the new players. If you thought of new updates to systems, you can implement them in.
Yep.
What? I know it's a money thing.
It's leaving money on the table. Yeah.
But I feel like the longevity of playing the game would be more beneficial than just here's another one.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Because you've always heard box sales aren't really what do it, but in this case, for sports games, it kind of is. Mm-hmm. Which is what's unfortunate.
I feel like they could figure out a way to sell skins too for uniforms and.
I mean, in Madden, they have the street ball thing that they can sell costumes and stuff for.
But even you could just be okay, this isn't a licensed uniform, but we're playing. We're the Lions, and we're wearing lion costumes.
Just as mascots.
Yeah.
Cotton lion costumes that you find at $15 for Walmart or something that look terrible. It's we're running around. There's numbers on the back.
Yeah.
We look stupid.
My favorite old thing was playing as Stanford in the mascot mode because you're just a tree.
Yeah.
Playing football. I always thought that was funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, I wish they could find a way to do something of that nature. Make it a platform.
Especially in the age of games as a service.
Yeah.
The one that isn't doing it is the one that is literally updated in real life every year.
Yep.
Just how it works.
Yeah. I could see myself, I will firmly say I will not be buying Madden on launch day this year. Pretty easy decision.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Until they maybe learn how to add at least not the exact same stuff, but just make it feel like real life football.
Yeah,
kind of this one did.
Yeah, like they've the new passing revamped system is great. Like you can layer passes, which is just something you've never been able to do on Madden. You know, the kicking meter is an actual challenge. It's hard to kick field goals in college football because football kickers suck. So it's hard to do it. Like it feels like real football.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can run option and my reads are going to work. Like if I make the right read, the right thing happens. In Madden, it's just so gimmicky. Like there's characters have abilities that do things that make them just unstoppable. In this game, they have abilities, but they don't work all the time. It's like random if it works. Like it's just, it's so awesome. And I just cannot wait to spend more time with it. And report back even more things. So there's a giant spider on your wall.
Oh, nice.
That ain't giant.
Well, not giant, but he's doing some fly around jumpy stuff.
He'd be moving.
Go get the cats.
Luke, what did you do?
I did a couple things. That was a lot of fun. I'll just mention these two really quick. It was a nostalgia week for me, really.
Nice.
I played Death Stranding again.
You beat it again?
No.
Oh, just got back on it.
I just jumped on, delivered some packages, listened to the music, ran from some beached things.
Yeah.
Kind of got scared a little bit because I forgot how scary they were and I haven't played it in a while. And I was like, I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. And I didn't have any weapons to fight them. So I was just like trudging through the mud, just like, oh man, I've been playing for 5 minutes and I'm going to die right away. I've been going back into Remnant 2 and just exploring around. I love that game so much. And then, what was the other thing that I did? That was nostalgia. Maybe that was it. I watched an entire show. It was pretty easy to watch though. I watched Receiver.
Oh, I meant to mention that too. I'm on episode 4, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. About almost halfway through.
It's really good.
Super good.
One thing that I appreciate is that it's similar to Quarterback, but feels very different with it picking different position.
Mm-hmm. I also think adding a tight end was a good decision.
Yes.
It breaks it up just enough.
Yeah, it's really nice, and I'm glad they chose that one too because it means I get to watch them lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, which is always nice. But it's fantastic. If you like football or you like documentaries, like I'd say get on to Netflix and check it out because it's really cool. It's so interesting watching sports behind the scenes, especially where it's like it's more daily life stuff with their families. And then kind of to the other side of that, I'm watching Hard Knocks off season with the New York Giants, and like the last episode was them hanging out at the draft combine, and it was like, what conversations are they having? And the dude is like talking to Saquon on the phone, like,
yeah, I've seen that clip,
and it's just like knowing that he left. And you're hearing the GM's words, you're just like, was that the best thing to say to him?
Right.
Oh, like it's just such a cutthroat world.
Yeah.
But like watching their conversations just in the stands, watching like Xavier Worthy break the 40-yard dash record, and them talking about all that. It's so cool. I might actually find behind the scenes sports stuff more interesting than the actual sports.
Yeah.
There's a lot that
I
goes
really
into it.
I really like enjoying the sports, but when you see what goes on, like that's why I love Moneyball, and it's one of the best sports movies ever made, is because it's not about the sport, it's about the management of the sport.
Yeah.
It's how do we win a championship with $5 and a graham cracker. But it's been a lot of sweet sports documentaries that I've been watching. The other thing that I did was I was bored one night and kind of sleepy, but didn't want to go to bed yet, so I just put on HBO, and they were putting a bunch of Shark Week stuff on there because it's Shark
Nice.
Week. So I just went crazy with it on Saturday,
That's awesome.
and I
dude.
watched like 8 to 10 of them. I used to love Shark Week
Dude,
back
Shark
in the
Week
day.
was great.
And it kind of became less of a thing. Sorry, my eye itches.
You good?
I can only do one thing at once. I used to pay more attention to it, but it was a lot of fun to go back into that. A lot of them are like, oh, sharks are dangerous, shark attacks. Ah! Those are okay. I like the ones where they're like actively researching something and trying to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
There was one where a guy attaches tags to sharks to find a lost shipwreck that nobody knows where it is. Awesome. There's one where they're looking for super rare sharks that there's only like 4 or 5 of them left in the world. There's 2 like that. Those are both super good. And then
Did
another
they find
one.
the sharks?
Yeah. Well, in one of them, yes, and another one, kind of, because they had eggs, but they never found them in the wild. They're trying to figure out where to take the babies, and they kind of had
To try to get them with
they had
their...
to kind of guess.
Oh gosh.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
In the other one though, they did find it, and that shark was freaky looking. There was, both like in both of those, they're not like, here's your generic looking shark.
Here's a great white.
Like
You've seen a million times.
in one of them, they're like, this one's called a walking shark. It doesn't swim; it walks on the bottom. Like use its fins to crawl across the bottom, and they're just grabbing it and measuring and stuff and taking blood samples. Like, oh, this is intense.
Dude, one of the books Bryn got at the library is called Santa Jaws, and it's about
how a shark
have
saves Christmas.
Oh no, how sharks go to Santa Jaws instead of Santa Claus.
Oh.
And it's a great white that they call Shark Kringle.
Yeah,
It's
Nice.
pretty great.
and then there's another one where they're like investigating why there's so many great whites in Nova Scotia. And like they've never been there, and they're like, we need to figure out where these guys are coming from. And they're like just hanging out with local people who had just kind of
Seen them?
worked their way into, like, they were fisher people. They were a fisherman family, and now they're just like studying sharks.
Oh wow.
But it's super cool to dive back into Shark Week.
A+.
Sharks are so cool, man. Dude, some of those shots though, not of the sharks, it's when they just aim down.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, we're 150 feet down. It's just like, I was in a lake last year, Crater Lake in Oregon, and it's the deepest lake in the world.
Freshwater lake in the world. I guess all lakes are freshwater, aren't they?
Yeah. Deepest freshwater in the world.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure it is. And like, I would jump in and you look down and it's just black, and I was like, ooh, that's really deep.
That is scary.
And like, you just swim down 10 feet and it gets super cold, and then it's like, it's just miles down in the ocean. That'd be so scary. I'd rather go into space. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Sharks are cool.
Sharks are cool. I need to check out some of that Shark Week stuff for sure. It's been a hot minute since I've watched any
I bet there's a couple you could watch with Claire. Where
Yeah.
it's like, hey, let's, like the
It's
one
a
with
little
the
more
babies.
fun and educational, and yeah, not as
You don't need to watch the first one I watched was the like actual footage of people being attacked by sharks.
oh gosh, yeah.
Like they're on the beach and they're like, oh, they're blurring out the horrible parts, but there's still like blood everywhere.
right.
All the disclaimers, and you're just like, are they allowed to show this? But
It's on HBO, of course they are.
TVMA.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Okay. All right. Well, long episode. Good episode, though, guys. Tyler, we'll get out of here so you can go play some football. And we'll see you next week. Right back here on the pod.
Bye guys.